Hello, everyone, or the people that are not here yet. Um, just gonna give it a couple minutes, let some people come in, and it's a Friday, so it's 7:45 Eastern time. I got this little fan here that I don't care if it makes me look like an old man. I really don't. It's fantastic. This thing is incredible. Um, I shall keep this for myself. I have it on 3 right now. It goes up to 5. And so I got a couple people starting to come in. Guys, who's in the chat? Who's watching? Who's in the chat? Everybody start commenting because we're gonna go over some ancient stuff tonight. So I figured we'd go on a Friday in the evening after y'all put your kids, you fed them and you took care of what you had to do, and you're able to just chill, or maybe you're doing dishes or laundry or whatever, and you're listening to me. Whatever. Mary Ellen Peters is here. Hey, girl. Much love. Thank you for being here. Yes, I'm just going to give it a couple minutes. I'm wearing my New World Order shirt. But contrary to popular belief, it's not the New World Order that we're talking about. This was a wrestling thing. Hulk Hogan was part of it. Macho Man Randy Savage was part of it. It was like 20 years ago. I used to be into wrestling back in the day. Carrie! Carrie. Thanks, girl, for being here. Question: did you unsubscribe and resubscribe? Is that what happened? Let me know. And I think I texted you yesterday or the day before. So please let me know about that. We have to start making plans for end of September. It's 2 months away, almost tomorrow. It's 2 months away to the day. Can you believe it's been a year since we all got together? Martha's here. Yes. Okay. So guys, here's what you got to do, and I'll talk about this throughout. Unsubscribe to me and resubscribe, because I think they do a push notification or they mess with the algorithm. I don't know what they do, basically. But I want to show you something. So what you're seeing here on top is my marketing thing that I'm going to do in a couple months. Martha had a wonderful day. I love hearing that. Carrie, thank you. Carrie, you work too hard. Crazy that it's been a year. I know. For anybody who wants to get to Nikki's here. I think this is Nikki. You're Florida, right? But what I was gonna say is I'm gonna have a get together in Florida in about 2 months. And if any of you are in Florida or would like to come down to Tampa, we're going to be doing live content. Oh, Alberta. Nikki is in Alberta. Okay. Get out of Canada ASAP, please, because it's not safe for normal people anymore. I just heard that one of your towns completely blew up. It starts with a P. I can't remember. Do you know anything about that? There was like a... my lord, Nikki. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Jasper, that's it, girl. Yeah, tell me what happened with Jasper in Canada, because all I'm seeing is videos of literally just seeing videos of just devastation, like a freaking bomb went off. Jasper burnt down. Well, how did that happen? It couldn't have been a natural cause, was it? Yeah. So we'll let some more people come into the chat. Hold on. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we'll catch up, Carrie. We need to. We'll start talking about it. Mary Ellen Peters says Jasper. I mean, cities are burning down. So now that I got 18 people in, let's talk about the big thing. Let's talk about the news, today's news, real quick. Let's talk about the story. Arthur Young, howdy, Micah. Greetings from sunny Singapore. Singapore is exactly 12 hours from us, so it has to be about 8 a.m. your time, right, bud? Well, thank you for making time to be here. Maybe lasers. People say wildfires don't get hot enough to burn car rims or something. Maybe like Lahaina. Well, you got to ask, are the blue roof houses still there? Excuse me. All right. It looks similar to the other fires in the form of the damage, just my observation. Jonathan Sadler's in here. Jonathan, I have to thank you because it was because of you, sir. It was because of you that we figured out why people were, either unsubscribed to me or they weren't getting notifications. My friend Carrie in the chat just got back to telling me that she unsubscribed and resubscribed, and now you're getting notifications. Arthur, we got someone from Singapore. Arthur, I would love to hear your comments on this kind of stuff. Let's see here. Government arson last year was brutal. What they don't tell you is that forest rangers from time to time have to set fires. Hold on. What's going on here? 10 a.m. here in the east coast of Australia. Australia is another place that is just, they took the guns, they did the lockdowns. Let's talk about today, guys, the Olympics in Paris, right? Did you guys happen to see the transgender and the transgender and the big, what they did is they reproduced Da Vinci's The Last Supper. And they made a big woman. She might be trans. I don't know if she's trans, but basically there was a lot of drag queens in there. And she's sitting there as Jesus holding a heart like this. And the Christians are up in arms. So I have to ask you guys once again, real quick, 2 questions. Number 1, is Revelation playing out, or do the elites know that these are astrology books in part, and they're tailoring events to make it look like Revelation is playing part? That's the question. And the other question too, or the other thing too, is that people that run to religion usually get left alone by the elites and the Illuminati, but not by the public. Because they think that the degeneracy that we're seeing being pushed from the mainstream and the left, and they're like, oh my God, Christianity must be real. It's a double psyop, if you guys can see that, because they're chasing people like Milo Yiannopoulos, for example, former gay. I don't even know how that works. You can sleep with whoever you want. It doesn't change what you're attracted to, I believe. Nikki says there no. Mary says we're totally up against it here in Australia. I know, my mentor Santos Bonacci got the hell out of there when they started coming after him. Let's see here. Carrie, always. They are just trying to keep people riled up, it seems. Keep everyone fighting and infecting with the fear virus. Of course, that's exactly what it is. It's a real thing. You're absolutely, because you guys remember Men in Black, the movie? I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. In Men in Black, the movie, there is a scene where Vincent D'Onofrio, who did an incredible job as the Bug, is climbing up what are they called? The saucers at the World Fair. I think it was Queens, because that's a spaceship. And he's carrying a woman, and the woman in it, she says, you don't want me, I'm a queen, taking me will cause war. And he says, good, war is good. It feeds our family, this and that. They're telling you this. They absolutely know this. That's what they're trying to do, is trying to keep people riled up. And it goes even further than that, guys, because it's not just the religious people that do. Well, it is the religious people, but then you have the Catholics versus the Christians. Then you have the Protestants versus the Catholics. It goes on and on and on. These denominations fight each other. The Calvinists. So that was my thing. They did and there was this scene in the opening of the Olympics, which we know is just predicated, right? There was a rider on a pale horse that was galloping across the water. I don't know if you guys have seen that. And that terrifies the religious, which makes no sense, right? Because if this is leading to revelation, revelation must happen in order for Jesus to return. So them fighting against it is actually against their better judgment, right? Wouldn't that make sense? Because they have to obviously play it out, right? Or the elites are basically playing it out. So we got some people here. Does anyone else have any comments? What we're going to do today is we did the 3 Sumerian tablets over the last 2 days. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the Enuma Elish today because my girl Lucy suggested it. It was either that or the Code of Hammurabi, so we're going to do the Code of Hammurabi tomorrow. Anyway, we'll do the Enuma Elish. Let's let a couple more people come in, and then we'll just get started. Todd's in. Hey, bud. Todd, my friend Chrissy absolutely loves you. She thinks you're hysterical. So whatever it is that you're doing on your free time, keep it up. And yes, so Arthur says, by the way, I was the one who remarked some moons ago that ideally we also take into consideration Eastern spiritual wisdom. You replied that your entire life's work is into Western philosophy and religion. My entire life's work up until now, correct. I am still dealing with the Western stuff, still breaking it down. Got 70 plus decodings so far. And you're absolutely right. I can't take on the Eastern spiritual wisdom, but you have to eventually get to it. There's just an endless amount of work, guys. But a lot of my work that I have basically broken down and explained, especially the stuff that's going on in the world politics, is in my book series, Into the Rabbit Hole. And if you go to my website, debunkmywork.com, you'll be able to see the order you have to read them in, and there'll be links directly to them. I've read the Jesuits or Zionist infiltrators who converted to Catholicism. It's a big jump, I know. Mary, if you... Excuse me. This book, The Sacred Stones, is my second book in this series. And guess what? It's actually on Audible. My first 2 books are. Now, in it towards the end, I explain the Jesuits, how Islam was created. I explain all of that in my second book. So you can get it on Amazon. You can get, and I know a lot of people hate Amazon. It's towards the end. But that's there. Let me see here. Know that I do my best to catch every one of your contributions and salute you respectfully. Arthur, thank you. My website, debunkmywork.com, has all my astrotheology breakdowns to date. All you got to do is click on the links. All my information, my social media, my book series, a way to contact me, all my social medias, everything is on that website, debunkmywork.com. Because you know what they say? At least they say this in law. Carrie, we're not talking about law too much, but what they do say is the burden of proof is on the one making the accusation. Well, I've made the accusation. That's why it's called Debunk My Work. And now it's up to people to debunk it. See, I don't have to have religious debates about historical things or things of that nature, Christianity. I've made my case. So it's up to people to debunk it. And I went into this positively. I went into this whole thing like, this can't possibly be real. When after I talked to Rex and I started going through these Sumerian tablets and all these ancient holy texts, I was like, I have to be crazy. There's no way this is the same thing going on through everything. So I made my claim. I'm there right now. Arthur, thank you. Everybody who's here right now, Arthur is tuning in from Singapore. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. And thank you for your continued support. And if you're on social media, please reach out to me. All right, so we're 15 minutes in right now. So let's go ahead and start. It would probably help if I share. The Enuma Elish, the Babylonian creation story. So guys, dance with me for a minute. We're going to do the 12 signs. The first sign is Aquarius, which is represented by the man with the water pitcher. Last night I explained the story of Zeus and Aquarius and the young boy. I'm not going to do that today, but that's where the story comes from. So whenever you hear son of man, man, baptism, water pitcher, fountain, stream, river, lake, pond, sea, ocean, water bodies, right? They're talking about Aquarius or Pisces, because Pisces is immutable to fish in the water. Pisces is a water sign. Whether it's Aquarius water or Pisces water depends on the patterns that you can make out of them, which I will definitely get into. Now remember, guys, Aquarius is an air sign, but because there's water in it, they use it to encode. Excuse me. Aries is the ram, and in Aries you have March 21st, which is the spring equinox. It's a 12-hour day and a 12-hour night. It's also the Passover, or the passing over of the sun over the equator and back on its way to its height in the summer solstice. That's the astrotheological Passover. Then that becomes the Jewish Passover, which is when the angel of death is going to pass over all the Egyptian houses, looking for the houses with the lamb's blood, because a lamb is a baby ram. What the angel of death is looking for is, that person is a person of the age of Aries. That's a Jew. So they're safe. That's what they're telling you, because the Egyptians were the age of Taurus. That's why Moses gets so pissed off when you see the golden calf. It's the gold, the sun in Taurus. They were worshiping the wrong time period, right? So whenever you hear ram, lamb, shepherd, or ram's horn, that's Aries. Also, the Christian Passover becomes the resurrection of God's son. When is that? That's Easter. Well, when is Easter? Easter is the first sun day after the spring equinox. I mean, come on, guys. Taurus is the bull. As above, so below. See the bull in the sky? Put the plow on the bull on earth. So you can plant the seeds, so you can harvest in Virgo and Libra. So whenever you hear bull, ox, calf, or cow, that's Taurus. Gemini is the twins. This is another Greek story. It's the story of Castor and Pollux Troy, whose sister was Helen of Troy. It's the story of Achilles. So whenever you're talking about twins or brothers, Gemini. Cancer is the crab, and it's the sideways moving creature. For all of you who are new, I drew this yesterday. Let's explain this. But let's stop sharing so I can actually share this on a bigger screen. There we go. Okay, this is the zodiac wheel. These are the solstices. These are the equinoxes. It forms a cross. This is the cross of God's son that he carries to his death. It splits the zodiac wheel into 4 seasons. Mary, I need to read that book. Mary, I can't stress this enough. Read them in order, because it's a story. And I had to write it in a story because they never would have published it otherwise. So it's truth and fiction. So definitely, you can get the first 2 books on Amazon, so do that. What the sun does, hold on, in Cancer, what the sun does is, this is Capricorn down here, this is the beginning. It's going to climb a degree on its axis every single day. Up, 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 up. This is the summer solstice. It's going to not climb a degree a day when it hits June 21st. It's going to walk sideways for 3 days. And then it's going to drop a degree. And then it's going to continue to drop a degree. And then it's going to stop at the last day of Sagittarius. And it's going to walk sideways for 3 days. So let me share again. Anyway, so the crab in the ancient Egyptian times was known as the scarab. So whenever you're talking about crabs or beetles, which they really don't in these ancient texts, but that's what Cancer is. Then Leo, and there's other things in Cancer, for example, like Acellus Borealis is the donkey, that's in Cancer. Canis Major, that's the dog, that starts in Cancer. Argo, the ship, I believe that starts in Cancer. There's a lot going on in Cancer. It's not just the beetle or the scarab. Leo is the king, the lion, the king of the jungle, or the savannah. The ruling planet of Leo is actually the sun. So whenever you're talking about lion, lioness, or cub, you're talking about Leo. Virgo is the woman holding the wheat stalk. Remember before when we were saying that you planted Taurus? Well, the virgins would cultivate the wheat in Virgo in order to make the bread for the year. So whenever you hear virgin, wheat, grain, seed, barley, corn, these are all grainy things that are harvested in the Northern Hemisphere 2,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. In the Northern Hemisphere, they're harvested. You can even look it up. When do you harvest this? It's the wheat season. The Egyptians celebrated this as the new year, which I believe is where a lot of Christians will come and tell you that Jesus was born on 9/11. Well, the Ethiopians, New Year starts on 9/11. It's Virgo. It's the wheat harvest. The sun comes to an end in Leo, and then the harvest season begins. It's the new year. A brand new sun is born again. A brand new sun is born to Virgo, or a virgin. Libra is the justice. It's the scales, it's the balance, the just one. The reason it's the justice is because it judges God's sun as it passes over the fall equinox and begins its descent into winter, into cold, into death. The Jews always celebrate the new year around the fall equinox. Last year, the Jewish New Year was September 15th. Now, 8 days after the Jewish New Year, you have what's called Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement or the Day of Judgment. Well, what's 8 days after 9/15? It's 9/23. That is the first day of Libra. Of course, the Day of Judgment has to be during Libra. That's the judge. It's all astrology, people. Whenever you hear, let me finish this. Libra is also wine season, which is when you plant for the grapes in Taurus. You can pick the wine here. It's also olive oil season. So all law-related things, all olive-related things, and all wine-related things is Libra. And then Scorpion is the Scorpio. Scorpio is the Scorpion, and he is the betrayer. When a Scorpion attacks you, it leaves an imprint in your skin that looks like two lips. It's why the mafia has the kiss of death. It's a metaphor. And it's why Jesus was betrayed by Judas with a kiss. It's a metaphor. It leaves an imprint of lips in your skin, but it's full of poison. That is the deep metaphorical betrayal they're talking about. The sun is judged in Libra. It's betrayed in Scorpio. Then in Sagittarius, this is where the bow and the arrow shoot the sun and inflict further punishment on the sun, effectively killing it. Why? Because on December 21st, the sun is at its lowest point. It cannot rise any lower. It was considered dead. The ancients would look out into the horizon on December 21st. It was cold, it was freezing, and the sun wouldn't crack the horizon. So they would say the sun is dead. And then for 3 consecutive days, again, it walks sideways, right? God's sun was dead for 3 days. Where God comes back to life is December 25th. That's when the sun rises a degree to start to make its way back up the great mountain, and that's Capricorn, the goat. Because the goat climbs the mountain better than any other animal, just like the sun is going to start climbing the mountain at the very bottom and go a degree on the left. So if we look at this, you have Capricorn right here. It's going to go a degree a day alongside the wheel. Stop, 3 days, go down. Stop, 3 days, go up. It does this every year. It hasn't changed. That is what it does. So let me see what we've got before we get into tablet 1. Let me see what you're all doing. Excuse me. Let's go over some comments. That's also the Native American medicine wheel and the symbol for, I think, Lemuria. I haven't dove too deep into Lemuria yet, but one day I hope that I will. That's fascinating, Carrie. I love your knowledge, girl. I love it. Here we go, right here. Mary Ellen, the sine wave pattern is the sun strives towards the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. I love that. All right, let's show you something, guys. We're gonna stop presenting for a minute so I can see you on the big screen. And oh, my girl just messaged. Hold on. I'm just here to look at your gorgeous eyes. Can you turn on the ceiling light? It is on. It's this. I had it down, but it's on now. It's this light right here. So thank you. Thank you, girl. My biggest fan and my biggest supporter is now the love of my life. And it's the best feeling I've ever had in my life. Every day is amazing. Let me show you guys something. So, this is Earth. This is the equator. This is Mary's sine wave. Okay? So, remember this too, right? Up here, you have the Tropic of what, guys? Cancer. Cancer's up here, right here. Tropic of Cancer. What do we have down here? What's down here? The Tropic of Capricorn. How cute are you? Aw, Carrie. Anyway, so this is the sine wave, right, guys? So check this out. Let's show you this. Here, right there, and here is the equator. So those are the equinoxes. So the first equinox, oh, hold on. You have March, and then you have September. But instead of that, it's Aries and Libra. Okay? Now here's the thing. The zodiac is going to go up. You have Cancer up here. Then you have, I'm sorry, guys. I told you I can't draw for shit. You have, and I also have no hand-eye coordination. This is Cancer right here at the top of the sine wave. Then this is Libra. Then this at the bottom, what is that? It's Sagittarius. Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Sagittarius. These are the 4 cardinal points. They start the season. But here's something else that you guys don't know. If I were to take this down and bring it all the way around like this, you also have a clock. You also have a clock. So it works that way too, guys. That was for you, Miss L, to your sweetheart. Can't wait to see you both. Can't wait to see you too, Carrie. Oh, I am so happy right now. Let's see what we got here. Arthur says Singapore is just 85 miles north of the equator. Kind of hot and humid. Arthur, I want you to do something for me. If you have an iPhone, I'm not sure if you do, but what I want you to do is, since you're only 85 miles, you can do this for yourself. It's amazing. So what I want you to do is, if I could find the app. There it is. It's called Skyview Lite. I have to update it. Anyway, Skyview Lite, what you do is you turn it on and you point, and it'll show you what constellations, what stars. It'll even draw it out for you. What I want you to do, since you're only 85 miles north of the equator, is on March 21st or March 20th, go down to the equator. Wake up at the equator on March 21st. And I want you to watch the sunrise. And I want you to point that app at the sun, because the sign behind the sun on that particular day is the actual age that we're in. So if you're that close, you might as well do it. It could be a fun thing. Take some pictures. Anyway, so let's start. But first I have to share. Enuma Elish. Here we go. Tablet 1. Now, guys, when I talk to you about tablets, remember, in the holy text or the Gnostic text or everything, they give you chapter, verse. But in these tablets, they don't. They're just tablets written out. So I can't tell you exactly where they are. I could just tell you that they're in order. Meet the world's human light. Will do. Thanks. You're welcome, Arthur. Okay. Alrighty then. Let's start. At a time when even the glories... Wait, can you guys see this? Hold on. Yes, you can. Okay. At a time when even the glories above had yet to be named. At a time when even the glories above had yet to be named. This was the time before the zodiac was in place. The zodiac and the constellation. So this is talking about prior creation. And the progenitor, Tiamat, the mother who gave birth to all, intermingled their waters, producing neither field nor marsh. Now remember, guys, this is when the sign of Aquarius, the man with the water pitcher, and the water-based sign Pisces were created. Because those are the first two that are created. And they say neither field nor marsh because they're both water. There's no field or marsh. What is the first one with field or marsh? That would be Aries, the ram standing on land. Within the unsullied waters of the Apsu was Marduk born. He was suckled on the milk of the goddess's own breast. The unsullied waters are the divisions between Aquarius and Pisces. And the goddess is Virgo. So it's the Virgo-Libra border. These are opposing signs. Raise the war cry. Make them pay for what they have done. Now we're talking about Aries, whose ruling planet is Mars, the god of war. So we have now, there was no creation. And now you have Aquarius and Pisces. And then here, they're now talking about Aries. So the first three signs are done. She brought big snakes with piercing teeth and vicious fangs. Their bodies she had infused with poison rather than blood. And she caused these raging dragons to emit deadly beams. This is talking about Ophiuchus, the snake bearer. Also, the raging dragons are Draco the dragons. These are both extraordinarily large constellations. However, they are both basically opposing signs. The tail of Draco starts in Aries, Taurus, and Ophiuchus basically starts in Scorpio, Libra. These are opposing locations. Then Tiamat enlisted a horned snake, the Masusu dragon, a mad dog, and a scorpion man, half fish, and half man, half bull. The horned snake is Ophiuchus, a dragon, Draco. The mad dog is the dog star Sirius, and the scorpion man is a Scorpio and Aquarius mix. The half man, half fish is what? Aquarius the man and Pisces the fish. These are connecting signs. That's also how we get mermaids and mermen. Well, that's how we get mermen. Mermaids would be Pisces the fish and Virgo the woman. Those are opposing signs. A merman would be Aquarius the man and Pisces the fish. These are connecting signs. Anyway, and the half man, half bull, which is half Aquarius, half Taurus. The dog star Sirius is in, let me see here a second. Oh, a mad dog. The dog star is Sirius, but they're talking about, see, I did this a very long time ago and things have changed a little bit. You're talking about Canis Major, which starts in Cancer. Tablet 3. Okay, so I at least break it down by tablets. That we may have a discussion, gather them for a feast, and give them plenty of bread to eat and the best of wine. The bread is Virgo, the lady with the wheat stalk, and the wine is Libra. Those two are connecting signs on the zodiac. Tablet 4. We must bestow upon you rule over the entire cosmic order. That's the mention of the zodiac, guys. Amen. They mention Amen in here. Amen comes from Amen Ra, the Egyptian times. It is not a Hebrew word that means let it be or so it is. So proclaim to it that the constellations may then disappear. Oh, they're talking about the constellations, guys. Proclaim to it yet again that the constellations be seen again. Do you know what this is? This is talking about the creation of the sun. Because when the sun is out, the constellations disappear, don't they? When the sun is out, technically they're always there. But you only really see the constellation when the sun is gone, right? They're talking about the creation of the sun. Marduk created a bow, and this he fashioned to be his weapon. Then fletching the arrow with feathers and set it on a string, raising aloft a mace that he held within his rigid right hand, slinging the bow over his arm, setting the quiver at his side. The bow and the arrow is the bow and the arrow man in Sagittarius. And guess what? Setting the quiver at his side, right? It is in his right hand. See? Held within his rigid right hand. It is in his right hand because it's on the right side of the zodiac wheel, right? Cancer is in the middle, Capricorn's at the bottom, but Sagittarius is on the right side. It's right next to it. So that's why he's holding it in his right hand. It's all poetry, guys. It's just deep, deep poetry that we've forgotten how to read. The Lord took a moment to rest and looked over her corpse. He split the monster's cadaver and made marvelous things, severing it up in the middle, filleting it in half like a drying fish, one of which he thrust up to make the vault of the heavens. He drew a gate in front of it, put into the care of a guardian. Her waters were bounded so that they may not surge free. So the fish became the zodiac sign Pisces. He drew a gate in front of it and put it in the care of a guardian. Her waters were bounded so that they may not surge free. This is talking about the sign being created again, isolated from another sign. The firmament set place on either side to protect them from surging free into another sign. What protects the waters from going into the land? What protects Pisces from going into Aries? What protects Aquarius from spilling into Capricorn? The firmaments, the lines between it. We've gone over that before. The guardian is the ruling planet of Pisces, which is Jupiter. Tablet 5. And concerning the stars, he placed the constellations for each one. Then he established the year and set forth its subdivisions. And as he formulated his intentions for every day of the year, he set forth the station of Nibiru to delineate their movement, that not one of them would veer from its appointed course. This is talking about creating the rest of the constellations and the zodiac stars. He established their intention from every day of the year, or what days go in which sign, delineated their movement, that not one of them would veer from its appointed course. Again, so that they don't spill over into each other. He brought into existence the crescent moon to rule the night, and he assigned this night gem to be an indicator of days. What's the creation of the moon? So we have the creation of the zodiac now. We have the creation of the moon. We have the creation of the sun. We just went over that. I mean, what more do you want, guys? This is the Enuma Elish. And upon the 7th day, your crown is half in darkness. The 15th day will be halfway. And every month's midpoint at the time when Shamash faces you from the opposite horizon. Make the day you are invisible near the track of the Shamash. This is talking about the waxing and the waning phases of the moon, guys. This is what it's talking about. They're talking about on the 7th day, your crown is half. On On the 15th day, that's halfway through, we'll be halfway. And every month's midpoint at a time where Shamash means the sun. Shamash. In Hebrew, it's Shemesh. In the Babylonian Enuma Elish, it's Shamash. But it's no different. This is talking about the waxing and the waning phases of the moon. It's important to note that in Hebrew, the Shamash is the candle that lights the other Hanukkah candles. It's the bright one that brings to light to you all the other candles, just as the sun brings light to everything. Make the day you are invisible near the track of the Shamash. That is the moon. That is telling them, all right, now we got the sun and the moon and we got the constellations. But the moon, you need to go bye-bye when the sun comes up. And the sun needs to go bye-bye when the moon comes up. Make your choice the scorpion for the overthrow of the kingdoms. The constellation Scorpio. Scorpio is known as the betrayer. Make your choice the goatfish for disease, plague, and famine. The goatfish, well, I have here the goat is Capricorn and the fish is Pisces. And then some people will sit there and tell me that Capricorn used to be called the goatfish. But it's basically, make your choice the goatfish for disease, plague, and famine. Why would he do that? Well, let's say the goatfish is Capricorn, right? This is winter, cold, destitute, desolate, disease, plague. This is when people would get sick more often. And it would be famine because nothing grows until Taurus. When you plant, because you see the bull, you plow because you put the plow on the bull, and you plant and nothing grows. Make your choice the bull of heaven. They're always talking about the bull of heaven, guys. Who's the bull of heaven? Is that Taurus? I believe so. Make your choice the true shepherd, the Lamb of God, the good shepherd, which is Aries, the ram. Now, let me just check the comments real quick because I got some more slides coming in. What do we have here? Skyview Light. This is for all y'all. Guys, if you want to understand the heavens better, go to the App Store and download Skyview Light. You will be blown away. Arthur, you can point it down and see what's down there. You can point it up. You can point it anywhere and see what's going on. It is the best way for you guys to familiarize yourself with this. Miss Honeybee is here, as always. Hello. Chris Belvedere, isn't the dog star the nemesis of our sun? Our sun being dog and our sun being God, and God backwards is the dog. So two things. Number one, the sun that they worship was not physical. It was worshipped, but it wasn't worshipped because it was the sun. It wasn't chosen that way. The sun represents God on earth because it gives life to everything. It helps things grow. God backwards being dog. The reason God backwards is dog is because it goes back to Anubis in Egypt. This is actually further along than this is. So no, the dog star is not the nemesis to our sun. Peaceful healing. Hi, Micah. Hi, Honeybee. Eastern teachings posit that Amen is derived from this Sanskrit sacred word Om. I can't speak on Eastern work, Arthur, and I know you're in Singapore, so you're probably sad, but I'm so busy dealing with Western works that I can't get into the Eastern yet. I will one day when my fat ass is retired on a beach. I'll start reading like the Upanishads and all that stuff and get back to you on that. The sun is the sun, always. Anyway, the sun, because it gives life to everything, this is plasma physics. And I'm actually going to have one of my good friends that I met at the UFO conference, Isha, come on my channel on Monday at 7 p.m. We're going to go live, and she's going to talk about plasma physics. I do respect your position, Micah, just sharing. I know, Arthur, I know. I'm just teasing. So let's continue, shall we? So we did this. The star cluster will rise at the time of the New Year's festival. Year after year, it will be the most festive day among the people. So you're talking about, at this particular juncture, the new year would have been, I believe, Virgo. We went over this at the beginning. The new year was Virgo, then it evolved to Aries. Now it's possibly Pisces. There's a lot of things about this, but I wrote Neil deGrasse Tyson's story about Sirius because I like sharing the story. I've reached out to Neil deGrasse Tyson many, many times, and after watching him freak out like Cocaine Bear on Terrence Howard, it was probably a good thing that he never answered me. Neil deGrasse Tyson is famous, or not famous, but he has said there's nothing specific that happens on our New Year day, and that's not true. Technically, you don't start a new year in the winter. That is just meant to remove us further from the calendar. And thank God that the zodiac doesn't give a shit about our calendar because it has its own calendar. Okay? But Neil deGrasse Tyson, the story about Sirius goes something like this. He said that nothing specific happens on New Year, but on our New Year, when we're talking, and this is not what this passage is talking about, I'm just explaining our New Year. You do not have a New Year in winter. You have it in spring when things start to grow again, and you have it in Virgo in the summer during the wheat harvest. Now, what happens on New Year's Eve, December 31st, is that okay. What happens is at midnight on New Year's Eve, if you go outside when you're drunk or high or whatever you're doing and you're banging pots and pans and you look straight up, and when I mean straight up, I mean tilt your head back and look as high as you can. That top star on New Year's Eve, that top star is Sirius, our dog star. It's our binary star. Remember, everything has a binary. Now, if you follow Sirius straight down, you'll get Earth. And then if you continue to follow it straight down, you'll get the sun from where it's located. It's actually a perfect alignment. And it has to do with our binary star. And they show you this year in and year out. So when you're watching, and again, I'm from New York, so I remember Times Square, the ball dropping. But when you watch the ball drop, that's what it's symbolizing. Dog star, Earth, sun. That's why you drop the ball. And no one has any idea. So Anu set upon his lap the bow which has pierced Tiamat, and placed a rod of peace at his side. The bow is Sagittarius. Then a bull was led by Ea and slaughtered for the banquet. And within his cellar were placed stocks of wine. The bull is Taurus, and the wine is Libra. Call him Enbelulu, the master and the bringer of wealth. They have a potent god who rules the portents of sacrifice, who guards pastures, lakes, and springs for the land's sake, who releases springs and gives out water in plentiful supply. So they're talking about pastures, lake, and spring. Where are the pastures? Well, isn't that what, the bulls and the rams graze? Right? And the springs are water, which is Pisces. So you basically have 3 signs in a row right there. Second, they ought to know Enbilulu likewise as Ipadun, as the master of the land and farming, bringer of furrows, who manage the canals which are in both heaven and earth. Land and farming is talked about in Taurus, which is as above, so below. He is called Sursur, who heaped the mountains atop Tiamat, who captured among the spoils of war the cadaver of Tiamat. He is the ruler of the land, and is likewise their good shepherd, who has given freely agriculture, garden land, and plow land. The mention of war is Mars, the god of war, in Aries. The shepherd mention is still in Aries, as the sheep and the livestock need to be tended to. That's still Aries. Who has given freely agricultural garden lands and plow lands, as mentioned just before? Well, the plowing takes place in Taurus. So these are connecting signs. He is called Gil, who collects great piles and masses of grains, brings both grains and herds, suppliers of the land's fertility. This is mention of the grain or the wheat, the lady with the wheat stalk in Virgo. And that's the Enuma Elish, guys. So Now you guys have a little bit more of understanding. Hey, DJ Emo's here. Hello, chat. Hello, Micah. Did you just see the Olympics offend every Christian on the planet with their Last Supper? And even the one... DJ, start this video over. We talked about that before I jumped into this. Oh, there we go. Please give us a heads up by dropping Watch Micah live in 30 minutes. I can do that. I could set lives. We could do that. Sure. Absolutely. So, guys, thank you, everyone that's in the chat. Please share. And again, I always say this, guys. You know, these aren't expensive. They're loaded. It is a fun, wild Da Vinci Code /1984 series. Wild. Cryptograms, anagrams, fun things to discover, astrotheology, true history. They're $17 on Amazon, guys. So thank you, Miss Honeybee. Heather, I'm going to have to rewatch. I came in late. No problem, Heather. Just rewatch this. And I'm going to give you guys an hour is what I'll do. I'll start giving an hour before I'm actually going to go live. Tomorrow, we will go live 7:30, same time, but I'll drop something at 6:30. So, guys, much love. Thank you. Lucy, have a good night. And Carrie, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Arthur, for tuning in from Singapore. Debunkmywork.com, books, social media, way to contact me, all my astrotheology work.